Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Joining us today is Eric Strand, fund manager and founder of AuAg Silver Bullet Funds. Welcome back, Eric.
Thank you very much, Ivan. Nice to be here.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure having you on. Eric, last time we had you on about 3 months ago, the silver and gold market was a lot different than where it is now. Now silver is around the $25 mark. And you are a fund manager that has deep insights into the gold and silver market. What is your outlook now until the end of the year for gold and silver?
Well, we have our outlook is for gold to be about 20% higher. So I think that wouldn't not be a real problem. And I think we are going to get a real attack on the all-time high for gold. And then when we also pass that and go to 2,100, I think it's really open to fly because we are just waiting for this last thing to happen. Now we see in all these different problems in the system. So I think now it's like in a pause mode, but that will change. And soon I think we will fly.
So you think your price target is 2,100? This morning I woke up, I got a little bit sad. It's 1970 around for gold. What's driving the price lower this morning for gold?
Well, I mean, on the 25th, we have the expiring on the options. I mean, there was some pressure on the price. I mean, we always see this paper game, of course, and it's a pity that the regulators don't push it harder to have a fair market there. So there will be a struggle around this 2,000, the big number, but soon I think it will break and we go really, will probably not go below it any time more. So I think its time is coming. Yes.
Let's talk about the supply side of silver, Eric. There's about 800 million ounces mined a year, but it's getting clear now that all of that won't be available in the future as you see the green revolution advances. Will there be a deficit in silver in the future with all the green technologies coming online that need more and more silver? Who doesn't get their silver is my question.
Yeah, I think this is the most interesting part of everything, and that's the physical shortage of silver that is coming and can be really coming really soon. Maybe it's already there, and that will take the price like 100% up in a month for sure. So that's the big one, and actually the silver price is like you have this ball in the water in the pool and you're pushing it down. And you can hold it down for so and so long, but
Right.
when it pops, and that is what will happen to silver. Of course, it's impossible to say if it's going to happen next week or the week after that or whenever, but it is going to pop. And that is the good thing with the physical shortage, that will break this paper game on the COMEX because you cannot stop it. And the shorts, they will be really hurt. So I think what we have seen, what is good is that the big four commercials, they have not been going short as much. I mean, in gold they have, but not in silver. So there is something happening in the silver market.
You keep on bringing up the paper markets and the manipulation in silver and precious metals. Can you speak a little bit more on that? Like, how long can you think they can keep this going for? Is it just until the COMEX goes to zero?
I don't know if the COMEX is going to zero, but I think the physical shortage will take care of it. It's a little bit too late for regulators to take care of it because I mean, if they say it's like managed market now, I mean they insult themselves that they haven't said that for the last 10 years. So
right.
I don't know. They have to find some way around it, and maybe they have told the banks or commercials to do not go that short again. We don't want that situation again behind closed doors. I think that's a problem because I mean, if it's manipulation, I mean, then the banks would lose their licenses. I mean, and we are talking about the largest banks in the USA, and I mean that's not allowed to happen. So I don't think it will come to that because everybody wants to save the banks. We know that. So somehow I think they have to solve that behind closed doors, and then they have sacrificed some traders, as you know. I mean, they pay some fines for spoofing, but spoofing is just the instrument for managing the market. So spoofing is like the small crime. The crime is to manage the markets, and I don't know if we get a resolution on that, but I think the physical shortage will take care of it anyway, and will end that manipulation or managing of the markets.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you're absolutely correct. You've seen JP Morgan get fined for spoofing. You see all these market manipulators that's happening with the COMEX and the paper markets. And it's tough when you're going to actually see the end? I don't think we'll ever see an end. Do you think we'll see an end to the manipulation?
I think what is interesting that we are believing is that the player you mentioned is double crossing other banks
Right.
to make even more money. So in our numbers, JP Morgan is long the market, and they will make even more money when the prices fly. So it's just
Right.
about for them to wait for the perfect moment.
Right. Now let's connect precious metals to what the Federal Reserve is doing. Can you're looking at Powell and everyone's saying they're trapped. Can the Fed keep raising rates with all the debt that's mounted up in the system? People have speculated that the second Powell pauses or lowers interest rates, then that will be the catalyst for precious metals. Do you believe that to be so?
For sure. I mean, they will always raise rates for too long.
Right.
So they won't just keep them high for longer, but they
Right.
will keep them too high for too long. And they can only back off when they get a real big trouble. And I mean, we're getting closer there day by day. And as soon as, I mean, the market has tried to feel it that, okay, they're not going to
Yeah.
raise much more and they're going to lower them. But when that's a fact, I mean, that would make precious metals fly. And that's what is really interesting here, that the precious metals have kept up so good in this rate hike cycle. And of course, we all know when the cycle goes the other way, what will happen with the prices for precious metals. So that's a good one, and it's just also an accident waiting to happen, and it will happen also this year, probably.
With all the chaos in the market, where are you putting your money right now, Eric? Any commodities, silver, gold? Where are you looking at?
Well, I
Of
am
course, silver and gold.
a fund manager, and I as a fund manager, I always invest all my money in the funds. So we are
Right.
all in, even the day when the prices go too high. Of course, one day they will go too high,
Right.
and we will still be fully invested. So I can't say anything else about that one. And we have, I mean, we have 4 funds. They all focused primarily on commodities or metals.
Do you have any like miners? Do you look at juniors or do you look at producers for the silver market?
For the silver market, I mean, we want producers,
Right.
because we want liquid stocks, and we have approximately 30 holdings in the fund. Some of the largest ones, and then we see some new ones coming up. I mean, there is a problem that we lose some because there are mergers, acquisitions, and so on, and the sector is not that big, and we want good jurisdictions, good leadership, and liquid stocks for our fund to trade, because we are daily traded funds, so we have to be able to sell and buy depending on inflows, outflows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. We actually had only inflows in for the last 2 years, so it's a really strong market for us. And then we have these new really good companies coming up, like AuAg as an example. Good leadership, good jurisdiction, and 100% pure play on silver. So that story we love, because we want to have as high possibility or high percentage of silver as possible.
Absolutely.
Of course, that's on revenue, and I mean that changes depending on the prices between gold and silver, or copper and silver. But as soon as the prices for silver goes up, the percentage of revenue goes up. But as I said, like a company that AuAg, if they're almost at 100% already, that would be really good, because only if in a deficit, as we spoke before, I think it's only the primary silver miners that have the incentive to try to get out more silver. We shouldn't forget silver is a lot for a byproduct from many big miners.
Right.
And they won't raise production just because the silver prices flies. So they won't meet that. So only the primary silver miners have the real incentive to try to dig up some more silver, and they, of course, they will be very profitable.
So, Eric, there's been a lot of talk lately about the BRICS nation with China, and you see Russia. They want a commodities-backed currency, and you're a commodities guy. Can China and Russia pull off an alternative currency to rival the US dollar?
But I don't think they can do that alone. But what we do see, there are a lot of countries now gathering together, if it's China or Russia, but it's also Brazil, and a lot of India is there too. Saudi Arabia is even talking about doing deals through yuan or gold or whatever. So a lot of things are happening, and maybe this is the most important thing for all of us, and that's about the power of currencies that the US has had for so many years, and this is all in question now, because the US has maybe used their this power of owning the SWIFT system, the currency system, trading system, everything. Maybe used it too much, and that makes other countries seeing Russia as an example what can happen, confiscated money or whatever it is, and nobody wants to be abused with these things. So I think this is really also a bit scaring, actually, because it can lead to more wars,
Right.
because it's such an important topic, and I think all commodities will play a big role here in this new system that we are seeing.
Well, yeah, we've seen. I just seen an article not too long ago. Like, what if Saudi Arabia starts selling their oil for gold, like from China?
That's a big one, because I mean we saw
Right.
Saddam Hussein started to sell gold in euro.
Right.
That wasn't popular.
Yeah.
It did happen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Gaddafi in Libya started to sell oil for gold, and he wasn't there for long after that. So if Saudi Arabia does the same thing, I mean that would be a big one.
But can they even invade Saudi Arabia? Like, they have such close ties with them, all the military equipment, and is it a point of or is it a point of no return? Or are they just going to keep invading all these countries?
Yeah, I hope not, and I don't think so. But I mean, we had the gold standard where the dollar was like safe before they started to print it too much in the end of the 60s, beginning 70s. And after that, we had the petrodollar system for so long. And that was, I mean, it was the US and Saudi Arabia doing that, but now they are not on that speaking terms like before. So things are really happening. And of course, maybe oil is not the same thing as oil was during the 70s, 80s, 90s, but still, oil is very big. So yeah, that's a very, very interesting thing. And if you go back to precious metals, I think they can only, for them, I mean, it will only make them stronger as a safe haven, no counterparty risks, and so on. So I think that plays in the hands for precious metals.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be an interesting next couple of months, and we'd really love to have you back on. It's a huge, huge pleasure having you come on today to talk to everyone. So thank you so much, Eric. And yeah, hopefully we can have you back on in the next few months.
Thank you, Ivan.
Yeah, no problem. Talk to you soon.